Olá pessoal, bem-vindos ao Kiai Marketing Secrets. Hoje tenho uma pessoa hiper mega especial, ok? É um bom amigo e também alguém do qual eu tenho um respeito imenso, Neil Patel.
Todos os dias o empreendedor tem de efetuar 3 vendas. A venda a si mesmo, a venda à sua equipa e a venda ao cliente. Para que isto aconteça com a maior eficácia possível, precisamos de algo muito forte: marketing. Marketing é a única resposta possível para fazer crescer pequenas empresas que não têm um músculo financeiro para enfrentar os tubarões do mercado. Por isso, a pergunta é: como é que podemos fazer um marketing que seja poderoso e ao mesmo tempo não esvazie os nossos bolsos? O meu nome é Ricardo Teixeira, sou empreendedor há mais de 2 décadas e um apaixonado por marketing. Todas as semanas procurei partilhar estratégias e táticas de marketing que procurem responder a esta pergunta. Bem-vindo ao Kiai Marketing Secrets.
Neil, thank you very much for being here. It's really awesome to have you. It's like I've been following you, I don't know, since 2009, 8, something around that. And it's funny how we see someone and a couple of years later we are friends of that person.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me. I'm honored, and you got an amazing community as well.
Thank you. And so by the way, Neil and Eric, they have a podcast, Marketing School, which I say to everyone that you should listen. Okay, it's really, really good. And so, go to your podcast and check it out. And what's the frequency that you release the episodes?
Daily.
Wow.
Every single day.
That's amazing. Daily. And you have been, did you test before being daily or it was?
No, we started with daily from the beginning, and we batch record. So we'll do like 10 episodes at a time. So we don't really have to record each day.
That's amazing. That's super cool. Yeah, and you do it in a very interesting way, which is live. And also you can grab some questions. I love the idea. So okay, let's go back, because people think that success come easy. Of course we're gonna talk marketing because I love marketing, and it's a common passion. But I know that we have similar stories about being ruled and growing and all that stuff, and I would like to go from there. So Neil, first of all, where were you born and how was your childhood?
Sure. So I was born in London, England. And when I was a little kid, a baby, my parents moved to Orange County, California. My mom wanted warmer weather. Everyone believes the grass is greener on the other side. So she's just like, life is better in California than London. Let's move. Eventually my dad said, okay, let's move. And they went to the United States. I grew up there. We first moved into low-income housing, and we were able to get apartment complex, government subsidy, low-income housing. And from there, eventually, I know my parents never had tons of money, but they had decent jobs, and eventually they made enough to buy a house and send my sister and I to a normal public school, and eventually went to college, and then the rest is off to the races.
Wow. Did you study computer science, marketing? What exactly did you study?
So I first started off by studying computer science because I'm like, I want to be in the computer space, the internet space. And then every single computer class had a lab. So I was like, wait, I had to be in school twice as long. And I'm like, no, thank you. So I switched my majors to marketing. And then I did marketing, but I wish I did communications instead because it was an easier major. Heck, actually, I wish I didn't go to college at all, but it's too late.
Yeah. We spent too many years there and learning a couple of stuff that, I usually say that it's good for our brain. At least we have muscles, because the brain is also a muscle. But there are a couple of things that could be way, way, way better. And so how was your college? What was your, what was your hobbies? What exactly would you do?
I commuted to college. So I lived in my parents' house. I would drive to college and drive back home. And I just I didn't really get much value out of it. I had no hobbies. I didn't stick around school. I didn't network with people. I would just go back home after my classes were over.
And how did the marketing show up in your life?
So I was doing marketing before college. When I was 16, I started my first business, and it was a job board, or 15 and a half, 16, somewhere around there. I started a job board, and I was trying to find a job online. I couldn't find one, so I'm like, let me just create a job website to help other people because I can't find a job. So that's how I got started. And I popped up the website, paid some people to help me out, and then all of a sudden, no one was coming to my website. And I learned at that point you had to do something called marketing. I thought people just come to your website. I was so naive. And
it's funny because a lot of entrepreneurs still think like that, right?
yeah,
Like, you open a website and they will come.
yeah, and it never happens that way. No one just comes. So then I paid some company helping me to do marketing. I didn't have a big budget. I didn't get good results, so I had to learn it on my own, and I got good at it. I still made no money from my website, but I got good at it. And then from there, I was decently smart enough to go to college early on. So I was doing high school, when you're 15, 16, 17, non-college, so pre-college. And then I also took nighttime college classes. So I started early. And my first class at 16 was speech and 101, where you just had to give like a speech on anything. Me being a nerd, I gave a speech on how Google works and how to do SEO. Because I was doing it for my own website.
This was like, what was the year? Because it was like the beginning of Google, right? Almost.
Not the beginning of it, but yeah, early stages. They weren't even a publicly traded company at this time. Yeah. It was a long, long time ago. You're talking about 2002, 2001?
Yeah, around that. Yeah.
Yeah, 2000. It sounds around 2001. So it was a long time ago if you think about it. And I remember someone in there is just like, hey, we would love to hire you. He's just like, I work at a company. They do this. They're looking for someone. And they gave me a contract for $5,000 a month. I thought I was rich. Being a kid, $5,000 a month. I was making more than my parents. And then I quickly realized, wait, I got the short end of this stick, because over time I learned that I was bringing them 20 million a year in revenue. So someone pays you 5,000 a month. You bring them 20 million a year in revenue. I was like, wait, what happened here? And that's when I realized that, oh crap, I'm onto something more. And I really realized that when the owner of the company, he has a son, and his son owned the ad agency. And his son introduced me to a lot of other companies, and my income shot up to around 20 grand a month. And that's how I started off.
Wow. So you started with an agency almost, right? It's like,
yeah,
that's amazing. And from there, how did you learn? Did you study someone? Did you follow someone, or did you just learn by yourself?
I ended up learning mainly by myself, by reading, by going to eventually conferences, but a lot of reading and a lot of experimentation.
Yeah.
Probably more experimentation than reading.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the principle of martial arts. If we don't go to the mat and just blah blah blah, yeah, it doesn't work. And
No.
from there, how did you get into software and other companies?
So I remember we were doing the marketing for a company which everyone knows, called General Motors, and we were helping them with their paid ads. And I remember at that time, they got mad at us because we told them to spend less money. Because, in pay-per-click, just because you spend money doesn't mean you get ROI. So I told them, hey, we should not spend these millions of dollars a month and only spend X million, because you'll save money and still get the same amount of conversions. The person didn't like that because at that time, they're like, if I don't spend it, I'm not going to get the budget for the next quarter. I'm like, but you're throwing away the money. Like as an entrepreneur, I wouldn't spend money if I don't produce the ROI, but that's just me, and most people wouldn't either. So I was like, it would be really cool to create an analytics tool that helps you show your conversions and optimize it, because all these people are spending money, but no one's optimizing to try to get more sales. And it led me to my first software company at that time, Crazy Egg. And then from there, I realized software scales, it's better. Then I created a few more software companies, and then, That's how I got into software.
And that's the one of the lessons I think I could extract from what you are doing is the how can you not lose focus of what you are doing, and at the same time you have like different business, even though the business complement each other. How do you spend your time? How you manage that?
I don't manage them. I have a CEO who runs every single company. I don't run any of them.
So, but how do you get feedback? Like quarterly? What exactly?
No. Daily.
Oh, daily. Okay. Oh, now we are going somewhere.
So the way my organization works is each company has a CEO. Okay. So let's say, let's keep it very simple. I have Uber Suggest that has a head of operations person. Okay. Which is almost like a general manager or CEO.
Mm-hmm.
Then there is an ad agency that deals with enterprise. They have an office in Utah and San Diego. There's a CEO named Mike Gullickson who runs that. There's a CEO who runs my India agency named Pradeep. There's a CEO who runs the Brazil agency named Marink. There's a CEO who ends up running the Australia agency named Andrew, right? So I have all these CEOs in place. There's a CEO or there's an operations person, Kiai, who runs the mid-market SMB agency in Utah. Now, they all report to one person. His name is Mike Camo. And Mike Camo is my co-founder. So he manages all the people, all the operators, etc. I then will talk to the CEOs of each company every once in a while, but I bug Mike. I'm like, why aren't we making enough sales? Why aren't we growing fast enough? So, and if I have some issues, I complain to Mike, and then Mike will go and fix it and deal with the people, right? But there's a layer between me and the CEOs. Although I can communicate directly, Mike is my buffer. Does that make sense? In which he's dealing with more of the day-to-day, the issues. Now, when I say I deal with them on a daily basis, it's more so me calling, bugging people, finding what's happening. Like if I look at my calendar, right, today. So today I have the interview with you, and I'm going to go with my time zone from 9:30 to 10:30, right? Then I have another event that I speak at. It's in Brazil. Funny enough, it's another Portuguese event from 11 to 12, and it'll be done online. Then I have a call. I'm on the board of a company, and it's a random company. That'll be between 3 and 4. And then I have another presentation at 5 to 6 for a mastermind group in the US. They're called the 100 million mastermind event, something like that. So my day, other than that, is just dealing with emails, phone calls, catching up. But I don't really spend my day, as you can see, in the weeds of the business.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And it was funny because last time that we were talking, you said that you want to retire, and of course, retire is like working way less, right?
Which is kind of what I'm doing right now, right? Like if you look at now today is a busier day than normal. If I look at tomorrow, I have an event from 9 to 10 for ManyChat that I have to record. Then I have a call from 10 to 11 with my CRO team just to go over what they're doing. I like being part of the CRO calls, and that's every Friday just because I love CRO. And then someone put this call in between 4 to 4:20, and I have no idea what
you're
that
going
call
to talk about.
Yeah, but that's Friday. And then if I look at yesterday, I had an interview with Business Insider at 8 a.m. that took 30 minutes. I had a call that took 15 minutes with another person who wanted me to be on their board. And then between 1:30 and 2 o'clock, I just caught up with a friend. So that was it. Like my days aren't, believe it or not, they're not that hectic.
Yeah. But did you spend time like in business, in process, in systems, or you left that to Mike?
I'm not good with processes and systems, so I leave that to him.
That's awesome. So
my skill set is like the growth hacks. Like if you want to get more traffic or you want conversions or quick wins, that's what I'm really good at. Now, it's like a bag of tricks. You only have so many of them. And every year I'll learn some new ones and I'll implement them as well. But what ends up happening is the real way to grow a business is people, people, people. And once you have the right team, then it comes down to things like processes, executions, fine-tuning things. But it all comes down to the right people, because if you don't have the right people, none of the other stuff is going to be in place.
Yeah.
So it's just, every once in a while I'll do interviews and recruiting, or I'll talk to product people. But in addition to my calendar being this empty, I do find time to keep myself busy. Like today I already had 3 calls with other people. And I was just checking in. I'm like, why wasn't this fixed? Why is the product not loading faster? Why does it take 10 seconds for my pricing page to load? Like, I'll nitpick little things because they need to be done, and I'll spend my time in places that I want to for the day.
Yeah. So what are the things that you like the most? You said already growth hacking, but if you go like macro, what exactly do you like the most? Like, do you like playing with the SEO of your website? You like to do the split testing? What exactly do you like the most?
So the SEO, I used to love it so much more than I do now, but I know it like the back of my hand so well, right? Hopefully I always will, but I know like the back of my hand so well that it just comes down to execution, and we already have the process so fine-tuned that I don't spend a ton of time on that. Where I love spending time is beating my competition. How can I win? So strategy. So for example, I want to go after MailChimp. MailChimp is what, like a $7 to $10 billion company. And I was like, what would be really cool? Just giving away their product for free and just crushing them by just giving it 100% away for free. So like, I'm working on releasing a free email tool that does marketing automation, drip sequences, landing pages, email collection, 100% free, unlimited contacts, unlimited sends, 100% free.
Wow. That crushed the market. Wow.
It would crush the market, and then do it in all languages, get a lot of people like you saying, hey, you probably have big groups, tell them they can have it 100% free. And at the beginning, do it exclusive and just invite people who I know aren't going to spam and abuse the system. And then eventually just open it up and say, it's free, no expenses, don't pay.
Yeah. And once people are hooked inside, it's difficult to get out. So.
Correct.
Yeah. Wow. I like that. I like that idea. So. Yeah.
That's where I like spending my time, because I look at some of these players, they're spending $50 a click on ads to get more signups. I'm like, it's just cheaper to give away the product for free.
It makes sense. Yeah, it makes total sense. So one of the things that you like in your head is like playing games. Like, you like to be challenged, and then that's interesting. That's interesting. I have a couple of friends where we make bets also, like who is ever going to have the biggest launch, and it's only for fun, because our bets are like $1 or a bottle of something that we don't drink, or paying $5,000 to a charity company or something like that. So I like that.